so that they can know, hello, virtual friends, they can know what we talked about in class, okay? So you don't have to worry about being seen by the camera. I might talk to you at some point, and obviously the camera is going to pick up what you say, but the idea is that it's just really for me to talk to virtual kids. So if you see me pointing over here into nebulous camera space, know that I'm just talking to them, okay? It'll be great. All right, let's go through stuff. We found assigned seats. Hello. Hi. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Mr. Smith. I am the band director at Silver Creek High School. I might be a crazy person. When are we playing? Okay, so we will be playing in class, just not this week. And the reason why is I still got to get some things sort of kind of figured out with the instrument storage room. The issue is actually the instrument storage room, really. And once I kind of figure out how we're going to be able to get from here to there and back in a way that's not terribly and woefully inefficient, then we will start getting our instruments out and playing. We're also waiting for some answers about the HVAC in this room, which is a long story that I don't even want to get into, and also what we're going to do with like instrument bell covers. A lot of the research says that instruments need to have a bell cover, like we need to put a mask on the instruments as well, because they do significantly reduce the number of droplets and aerosols that get into the air. We're also going to be limited to playing inside of a half-hour window. So basically, all the playing that we do is going to be about a half hour long. Now, that doesn't mean that we're just in here for half an hour. That just means that we can only be playing our instruments for about half an hour. Which, once we get all of our crap out of the instrument storage room, and when you factor in the time it takes to put our stuff back into the instrument storage room, plus all the daily, talking and shenanigans and ramblings that go on, that's probably going to be okay. I wish it were more. We can still do musical things. We can clap and count and do that kind of stuff outside of that 30-minute window. But that's just to make sure that, again, we aren't saturating the room full of all kinds of stuff that keeps us all safe. Okay, any questions about that stuff before I move into the syllabus? Cool. All right, syllabus time. Have you guys tried to get into Schoology yet?
We've attempted.
You have attempted. An attempt has been made?
It's not been successful at all, but
That's okay. So, yeah, it's because you were not, it wasn't today. So basically, Schoology isn't going to turn on for you until today. Where is my, what are you doing back there? What you doing? Yeah. If you try today, it should, it should work. Emphasis on the should. If you log in correctly. Oh my gosh. This is going to make me lose my mind. Wow. I tell you, Chromebooks, they aren't really computers. Okay, so I'll show you what your Schoology looks like. All right. So, for those of you who used Schoology before, if you're not a freshman, you should be able to log in by going to scsc.schoology.com. That should get you into your Schoology account as long as you use your new email address. So it's your first, well actually I don't remember what your old one was, but it's the same like beginning plus at scsc.school is your new email address. Your old password should work. My old password did, hypothetically yours should too. When you get in here, you'll see that there is just a big old bunch of classes. Now it's going to look different for you than it does for me because, I'm a teacher. But you're going to find this one, Blue 1. And inside of here, there's a bunch of stuff. One of the things that's in here is your syllabus, which is what we're going to talk about now. Questions? Yes, Kaylin.
I just want to add that sometimes you'll be able to log in on your computer, but not on your phone. And I don't know why that is, but if you have a computer at home, try that.
Yeah.
Take screenshots.
Eventually, you should be able to log in on everything and is able to get to the internet.
Right.
Again, emphasis on the should. Okay, so let's go over the syllabus stuff, and if you want me to show you how to do the Schoology thing again, that's okay. This is really, the Schoology stuff is here for you, but it's mostly for them kids, them virtual kids, right? Because that's like the best way I have to communicate with them. So it's really more for them than it's for you. Okay, so the syllabus, which I'm not going to hand to you because, you know, stuff. Instead, you can access it by going here. So the grades are going to be a little bit funny this year. And this is very subject to change. And if I change it, I'll make sure I let you know about it. But for right now, the plan is that we are going to do chunks every week, and that's going to be your participation. So by passing a chunk, that's how you're going to get your like participation points for that week. And that'll get you 10 points, and that's like, you know, that's your main point stuff. I did it this way because chunks are, first off, pretty straightforward and pretty easy. You only have to do one, which means if I get a chance to see you, you can say, hey, come listen to me play this thing if you're here in person. Or if you're virtual, you can send me a video on Schoology to upload those things. If you, for whatever reason, are not able to be in class, but you're a physical student, you can still record them and upload them into Schoology, and I can still get you that grade. If you take one but don't pass it, great, do it again. As long as you pass a chunk in the week, you're going to be able to move on. For those of you who have been here for a while, you know that that's not how we've done that in the past. You're right, I've changed it in order to better fit what's going on nowadays. So the expectation is that you pass one chunk per week through the entire school year. Now, I am not going to
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'd like to welcome everyone back to school, our new freshmen, all our new students, and a special welcome to our seniors, class of 2021. Before starting here, I'd like to have everyone stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the
United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now for a moment of silence. Thank you for that. We're have quite a few things to go over with you this morning. First of all, it's a great feeling to have students back in our building. A lot has changed since March 13th, and we have a lot of new building procedures that I will need to review with you. We have seen surrounding schools open and have seen that some have already shut down. The items we have put in place are to keep you safe. COVID-19 is a very contagious virus. The most important thing is for you to protect yourself. This means washing hands, using hand sanitizer, practicing social distancing, wearing a mask, and not sharing food or drink. A few changes to our building. First off, we have a new bell and clock system. However, we will not be ringing the bells today. We will just go by the clocks. You'll notice the clocks throughout the building. Those are all synchronized, and the bells should coincide with the clocks. So those are the digital clocks. Another change is we have closed our water fountains, and we're in the process of replacing them with no-touch refill stations. So one thing you may want to do is, for your water, make sure you bring a water bottle each day. Make sure it's full, and if you need to refill it during the day, we'll have those stations. We also have a new staggered bell system, so our passing periods between classes are actually 10 minutes. The first 5 minutes will be a passing period for freshmen and sophomores. Then the next 5 minutes will be a passing period for juniors and seniors. Now, there's going to be some instances where that schedule may not necessarily fit the classes you are coming from or going to. An example of this, if you're going from an English 10 class to perhaps a pre-calculus class that may be mainly juniors and seniors, the passing periods are not going to work. So depending on the situation, there could be a 10-minute passing period for some of you, depending on how that works. And some of you may be ending class and also be expected to be in your class at the same time. So, and we'll have teachers in that situation as well. So when those situations come up, we have asked our teachers to work with our students to give you some leeway, a couple minutes either way. But we'll work all those situations out. It doesn't affect a lot of you, but it does affect some. So again, we're going to work that out with the teacher, and after a couple of weeks we'll have that down. You've already noticed that our hallways, they now have directional arrows on the floor. These changes are all, they're all precautions, they're recommendations for schools to follow, and we need to follow these precautions that we're taking. But the arrows on the floor, that is going to take some getting used to. Many of our main hallways are now one-way hallways, and it's going to mean more walking. You're not necessarily taking a straight shot from one class to the other. You may have to go around a little bit and walk a little bit more. But the directional signs, that they are not in effect until 7:30. That would be the time that we're going to be releasing students from the cafeteria and the main gym. So at 7:30, when we start releasing students to go to first block, the directional arrows are in effect. Also during all passing periods. So if you're going from one place to another during the class, you don't have to worry about the directional arrows. But when we're in our passing periods, you need to make sure you follow those. Restrooms. We have opened all the restrooms in our building for student use. So some restrooms that have normally been off limits to students, we now have those open. So there's additional restrooms open down by the auditorium in that hallway and the junior hallway. We also have some additional set of restrooms open down by Mr. Anderson's room, by the athletic office and the gym. The restrooms on the other side of the gym by Miss Jackson and Miss Earl's room, those are also open, and they should be open all the time. You'll notice that we'll have those doors propped open, and that is just to keep a lot of people from touching the same area. Lockers. We have decided to go ahead and allow locker use. My recommendation would be that you don't use your locker. That's going to put you in close contact with people. But some of you, you rely on your locker, which is fine. But my preference would be that you keep your books in your backpack and just go from class to class and don't mess with the locker. But if you want to use your locker, that's fine. But we're only going to allow you to use your locker before first period. You get what you need first period, and need to make sure you've got everything to last you through lunch. During the lunch periods, when you're going, back and forth between your third block classroom and the cafeteria, you can use your locker then, and that needs to be until the end of the day. So block scheduling really helps us out on that. On blue days you have 3 classes, so a lot of you can put your 3 books for that class in your backpacks and be good for the day. Another thing you're noticing is seating charts, and it is extremely important that we have seating charts in our classrooms, in the lunchroom, and in the morning. In the event that we have a positive COVID case, we have to do contact tracing. So we must know who's sitting around the person affected during the school day, and we have to go back a couple days on that. So we have to know who is sitting where. Seating charts at lunch is certainly not something that excites high school students. Believe me, we aren't excited about it either. However, we must do this, and we ask for your patience while we're getting that set up today and your cooperation. The next topic is very, very important. So if I'm putting you to sleep, wake up for a second. What are your responsibilities when you are under a quarantine or we have a shutdown? In the case of a quarantine, you're going to be missing more than likely 10 days of school. It could be a little bit less, it could be a little bit more, but you're going to miss 10 days of school, and your schooling needs to go on. So, and this would go for anyone that's absent, but if you're absent, you'll be expected to log into Schoology and get your lessons and to keep up with your studies. Your work for each day and all your classes will be available. This is always the case unless you're just too sick to do the work. In the event that we shut school down, you've seen schools open for a couple of days and then they're shut down the rest of the week. We will have positive cases. We will be shut down. There's just no doubt about it. It's inevitable. And, we're already going to be shut down the 2 weeks of fall break when we'll be doing e-learning. But in the event of a shutdown, e-learning automatically goes into effect the next day. So, say we get a positive case this afternoon, which, we hope we don't. But if we do, and the health department shuts us down Thursday and Friday, that means tomorrow morning, you are to log into your Schoology account and do your work. And keep in mind, this e-learning is not going to be like it was in the spring where you just had 20 minutes of work to do in your classes on average. But, it's going to be a regular day of school. You're going to have lessons to watch. You'll have activities to do. You'll have discussions to participate in. So it's going to be real important that you understand that. You don't want to come to school after a shutdown and be a week behind everybody else, or after a quarantine and been 10 days behind everybody else. So the e-learning will be a very important aspect of our instruction this year, especially on Schoology. So you need to make sure today, that you can log into Infinite Campus. You need to know your username, and your password. Make sure you can log into Schoology. Now, we're still straightening out some of our Schoology classes because not all the teachers have all their classes up on Schoology yet. We're waiting for our IT department to get that straightened out. But you need to make sure you can log into Schoology, and you also need to make sure you can access your email. Emails, the last part of the emails have changed. It's your first letter of your first name, usually your last name, and it's at scsc.school. So that's your new email addresses. If you still, if someone sends an email to your old address, it will still come through to you though. Handbooks, they are not here yet. We do have an electronic version of our handbook, and we'll have that available to you. We're also trying to get our website going, so that's in the works as well. Chromebooks, over the early summer, the school board approved Chromebooks for all students, and a lot of schools were ordering Chromebooks, so there's a lot of demand for them. So the delivery of those have been delayed. We will get as soon as we get them, though, we're going to get them out to you. The rule this year in terms of cell phones. Now, with Chromebooks, our rule will be, and this is once Chromebooks arrive, that we do not want to see or hear your phones. They need to be put away. But since we don't have Chromebooks yet, we know a lot of you will have to rely on your cell phones. So we'll basically go back to the rule we had last year, where you need to keep them put away, but you can get them out with the teacher's permission. Some of you may need to get them out to, see where your locker is, to see your combination, to see your schedule, and we'll kind of ignore all that for the first couple of days. Lunchtime. Lunchtime will be a lot different. We're going to be putting half of our students in the cafeteria, and the other half will be in the auxiliary gym. We're only allowing 2 people to sit in each booth, and only 2 people allowed at each table. In the auxiliary gym, we have some tables set up where there'll just be 2 to a table, and then we have desks set up. So obviously that would be single seating. But where you go for lunch is based on your third block teachers. So that information will be given to you. If you go to the wrong place, we'll just we'll get you going in the right direction. But we have to observe social distancing at lunch. We need to make sure that we're wearing our mask unless we're eating or drinking. As soon as you're done eating or drinking, we would expect you to put your mask back on. In the lunch line, we can't let everybody just crowd into the lunch line. So we'll have some procedures for that. Kind of like when you check out at the supermarket and they have the X's on the floor where you're 6 feet apart. It's going to be kind of like that. But we're struggling with all these new things. Lunch may not be super organized today. It may take a little bit longer. So we have to assign seats. We've got to know where you're sitting, so it'll take a little bit of time to do that as well. So just be ready for that at lunch. Be patient. Don't get upset with us. We're doing the best we can, but lunch will be different. I have a few other items. One, the library will be closed this week. We need to use the library to get our books passed out to our virtual students. Also, you may be wondering about the parking lot. We have numbered parking spaces now. Students will be assigned a space. Everyone will need to get a parking pass if you're driving to school. And we will get this underway next week. And yes, we do plan to let our seniors still paint a parking spot. So we're just not going to do it right away. Flex, this week there will not be any passes to go to other classes. This will be a good time to ask questions about anything you need clarification on. Paper schedules. If you need a paper schedule, we do have them printed out. They're down in the cafeteria, so maybe after first block you can go down and pick one up if you need one. Most of you have them, but if you need a paper schedule, they're available in the cafeteria. I know this is quite a bit. In order for us to stay open and to keep you safe, these are precautions that we must take. Please be patient with us, as this is all new to us as well. We may have to make adjustments. If you have questions, please get in touch with someone. Please contact me if you need anything. I hope all of you have a great first day of school, and welcome back. Take care.
Good night and good luck. A reference you probably don't understand. Questions about any of that information dump that just got dumped on your information? Yes.
I was going to do after walkthrough. It says there's an M for no schedule. It says there's an M right here.
Oh, that's Mentor.
Yeah, Mentor. Yeah, don't worry about that. We're not doing Mentor right now. Yeah.
So I didn't know the policy on lockers, so I only grabbed this class's stuff. So
It's okay.
On the way to my next class, can I grab the rest of them?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yes.
2 things. So, we now have an American flag.
Did you just put that together?
Yeah.
What a champion.
Great. And then the other thing is, what do you want us to do with the music from last year?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, if you still have, do you have it with you today?
Yeah.
What a champion. Okay. Oh my gosh, these people. Do you have yours too? Or is that a question, Ian?
No, I do have it.
Oh, man. Brilliant people. If you have music from last year, when you leave, not right now, when you leave, put it right here. Okay? Not on my foot, but right here. And I'll get all that stuff sorted and taken care of. I appreciate those of you who remembered to do that. That's really great. Yes?
I forgot to return our Hugo Maltese.
Do you still have it with you? Great, hold on to it.
I forgot to pack it.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Just keep it, because I'll need the number off of that eventually when we start playing, but that's really good. You just saved us like $200. Yes?
Can I put the flag on the wall?
Not right now. Yes?
I still have a middle school tenor.
That is fine for now. send Mrs. Jocham an email just so she knows, but I'll probably have you continue to play that in here for right now. But just make sure she knows by sending her an email, and if we need to change something around, we can. Yes?
We have to restore the time to do these fast ones.
That's what I was about to say before Mr. Eckert so rudely and terribly interrupted me. No. So because everything was so crazy at the end of last year, we are not going to do the resetting of the chunk numbers. I still have the most recent spreadsheets for all of you, and we'll just pick right up where you were. Now, if you lost your chunks and stuff in this crazy time, don't worry. We'll get new chunk papers out to you. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, it's going to be okay. You'll get some specific stuff from me. I haven't done any of that yet because, oh my gosh, and it's not, don't worry, it's not going to hurt you. But yeah, I'll get that stuff out to you. This, by the way, does not start this week. I am not counting this as a week really. So don't feel like you have to get all that stuff done, like go home and start, chunking it out tonight. Don't. And that goes for my virtual friends too. You don't need to start submitting chunks this week. We'll start this next week, asterisks, I hope. So don't worry about that right now, just so you know. So you will get points for this week. Congratulations. So, it's band class, right? And that's the main thing here is I know that we're spread apart and things have been weird and stuff, but this is still band class. So all the things that are normal band class things are still things. That includes, hey, grades are kind of stupid, y'all. So it's band. If you do what you're supposed to do, you're going to get an A. That's, completely secondary to the I hope that you learn things and that I help to make you a better person, which is the actual goal of the class. Getting a grade is just a whatever. Learning how to work hard and get yourself motivated to do stuff. That's the actual, important stuff. A grade is just a grade is whatever. Okay, so that's where the vast majority of your points are going to come from, is from the weekly participation stuff. So you'll end up with 90 or 100 points in a grading period from that, because there's 9 weeks. I'll probably throw in an extra assignment or something at some point. So you'll have basically 100 points per grading period that comes from just doing chunk stuff. Easy things. The next part of this is I've got it so that there's going to be one performance at least per grading period. Now, you might say, Smith, when you say performance, what? We can't do a concert right now. You're right. We can't do concerts right now. So for those of you who were in high school last year, I sort of kind of put out a thing for a virtual performance, a virtual band thing at the end of last year. And some people participated in that and some people didn't. It was totally optional, so it's fine if you did or if you didn't. But our performances, for at least this first one in October, are going to be virtual. When you get your Chromebooks, all of the class fees that are associated with band are going towards a program that Mrs. Caldwell, Mrs. Jocham, and I purchased for you guys to use. And it's an entire online suite of music making tools. And it includes all kinds of legitimately awesome stuff. One of those things that it includes is a mixing program, what's called a digital audio workstation, a DAW. And I am going to teach you how to use that in here in person, so that you can go home and record yourself playing the music that we're going to use for our performance and record it and do it in a real professional sort of way. The idea is that not only this year am I going to teach you how to play your instrument and get better as a musician, you're going to end up learning how to do the music technology side of things too, which, let me tell you, I've been lucky that I can have a lot of that kind of skill. That stuff has paid off for me personally in the last 6 months in a way that I never thought it ever would ever. Being a musician in the modern time means that you also are going to have to learn how to do the things that I'm going to teach you. You have to learn how to record yourself. You have to learn how to mix your own sound. You have to learn how to take a video that looks okay. That's what being a musician nowadays Hello, my virtual friends. I don't know where you went, but you're back now. You didn't miss any much, I hope. Rip virtual friends. So yeah, I don't know. You don't really have to worry about not being at a concert because, especially this first one, is going to be virtual. So if you have a conflict, great. Turn in your stuff before. I don't know. It'll be fine. So don't worry about this so much. It doesn't really apply. Semester finals. This will continue. For those of you who are hoping that this would go away, because, well, we're in a pandemic, surely he wouldn't make us learn our scales. You're wrong. You're wrong. So, it's exactly the same as has been this way before. If you are a freshman, you've heard me talk about this legendary thing for a while, and now here it is. I've been giving the same final every year for, at this point, 6 years. It is unchanged and it is constant. And you, right now, are going to know what is on the final in December. You're going to be expected to be able to play all 12 of your major scales, plus the arpeggios, up and down from memory. Now, if you're not a freshman, you already know this because this is what you had to do last year and maybe the year before. It's the same thing it's always been. We will work in class on playing scales. I will help you. We'll go through it. But I will tell you right now, you as an individual have to work on your scales. The only way to get good at scales is by getting good at scales, by practicing them, by getting into the weeds and working through stuff. Scales are our vocabulary. They are the letters that we use to form words and ideas. If you don't know how to use your letters, it's real hard for you to write things down. If you don't know how to play scales, it's very difficult for you to play your instrument in a way that is very efficient and effective. So, you're going to learn how to play scales. So start practicing them. Right now, you don't have to do it right now, obviously, but I will get a circle of fifths out to you, and you'll get access to very fancy fingering charts, and you will be able to go through and start working on your scales. When I say from memory, you actually will have a circle of fifths in front of you, but it's a blank one. You can't like put notes and stuff on it. It's just a blank circle of fifths, and you have to be able to play the scale up and down, boom, right away. There's also a written part of the final that is pretty straightforward because, you know, it's just a written final. Well, what if we are not here in school when that final rolls around? Like, what if we're all home because we're e-learning? Yep, the final will still continue. You will be able to record yourself with the stuff that I get you, and you will have to, in real time, probably set up a time with me, and we'll get onto Google Meet or something, and you will have to play your scales in front of me still live. That way you can't just like, oh, okay, I screwed up that scale, let me go back and do it again. Oh, I screwed up that scale, let me go back and do that again. You'll have to do it live with me anyway. So there's no escape from this, my friends. You want to learn how to play your scales, and I'm not doing that to make you angry, and I'm not doing that to be a mean person. I'm doing that because you're going to get good, and I'm going to help you get good. Questions about your final? Yes. There is a written test, yes. The written test is there to help offset the occasional pain that is wrought by the scale final. Basically, I try to make it better for you. I try to raise your grade by giving you a super stupid, easy written test. So, I mean, I'm evil, but I'm like, you know, lawful evil. Okay. I want to be chaotic evil, but you know, it's just not who I am. Any other questions about the final? Yeah, cool. Okay. Required dress, whatever. Basically, make sure that you're wearing clothes whenever you record yourself. Okay. Next, let's talk about general plans for this year. So, I want to make sure that you guys understand that the decision and the work that has gone on to get us to play in class is a big deal. We're lucky, honestly. There's a lot of places in the country where the band programs have been completely shut down. In some places, the band programs have been basically eliminated because of the uncertainty and the potential danger of having those things played. The administration has been super, super, super willing to work with us so that we have this space to practice and play in instead of the band room. If we were in the band room, we could fit 12 people playing their instruments into the band room. And that's it. And obviously, every single one of our band classes has more than 12 people. If we didn't have this space, as not perfect as it is, we would not be able to play in band class at all this year. And that's not what we have to worry about. We have the opportunity to still be here, to still make music together, and still work on things. And I am very, very grateful for that, and I hope that you are too. We've had some people who decided not to take band this year for 1,000 different reasons. That's okay. If you have friends who are normal band kids but who aren't here, that's fine. Don't be a jerk to them. It's fine. They decided not to take band. It's okay. There's 1,000 reasons why people have decided not to take band. And I want to make sure that you folks, though, who are still here, are still getting the very, very best that I can offer you. I want to still be the same teacher that I've always been. I want this to feel as much like the same class that you've always had. This should be the most different class that you have all day. Because every day that you show up in this class, your success, your enjoyment, your entire experience is determined by your level of work. If you put in the effort, you're going to have a great time. That's the same as it's always been. If you don't put in the effort, you're going to learn life lessons about what's that like. Because you'll realize really quickly, it's like, oh, wait a second. This sucks to be bad. Not just it's fine if I don't work hard and I'll get a bad grade. You can not work hard and probably still get an A in this class. But you're going to have a miserable time. If you work hard and you practice and you take responsibility for your musicianship, not only will you get a good grade, but you're also going to get a lot of enjoyment. You're going to have a good time out of this thing. Okay? And that's what I want. That's how I want this to work. I want all of you to understand that your work equals your growth and eventually your enjoyment. And that's the same thing it's always been. And we can still do all of that. It can still be all of that. Even though we're all like weirdly far away from each other. Okay, we are going to play a bunch of cool music. If you have some ideas of something that you guys want to play or something you want to try to do, you can always send me an email. One of the things that's in that Schoology is a link to how to access our school or the music library. You can go in there anytime you want and just dig around virtually and see what kind of music we've got. If there's a piece that sounds interesting, you can look it up on YouTube and listen to it. If it's a piece that you're like, oh man, I think I really want to play this, or I think this would be awesome for us to try to do, send me an email and tell me what the name of it is and where it's located in our library. I'll probably pull it out and we'll sight read it one day. So feel like you have a part in this too. It's not just going to be me from on high throwing music knowledge down upon you, okay? It's not what this is supposed to be. I want your input in this as well. And you too, people at home. People at home. Okay. Questions, comments, hopes, fears, dreams. Yes?
If we're doing Halloween music, which I hope we are.
I mean, it's October, right?
Right.
So it's just straight Halloween silliness at all times.
Could we do something where we video ourselves in costume?
Absolutely. Why the heck not? As long as it's concert black costume. You can dress up as a 90s emo goth person. Other questions? Hopes, fears, dreams? No?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, buddy.
Have you been bought by Google yet?
By Google? Have I been bought by Google? Look, I've signed a very large and very lucrative NDA, so I'm sorry, I can't tell you that. You can't see my expression, kind of ruins it. Anyway, yes, Dylan.
Might you finish off the video? You should always say, thank you for listening to my TED Talk.
Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. I think it's a good idea.
Remember
Yeah.
to like and subscribe.
Raid Shadow Legends! Okay. NordVPN. Yeah. Cool. Anything else? If there's nothing else, I'm going to go through how to get you guys logged on to Schoology real quick. Unless there's any other questions. Cool. All right. Get your phone out. And what you should do is put it in your hand. Do you not have a phone? What a champion. Okay. Is it in your locker or you just don't have one?
Oh, it's currently broken.
Cool. That's fine. You can write down the instructions if you want, if that's okay. Yeah, and if that's the case, if you don't have a phone, it's fine. Just write down the instructions. Okay. The first thing to do is to get to it. I.e., you need to make sure that you know where Schoology is. Man, this is a giant pain in the butt. Hold on a second. Let's do it this way. So you can access Schoology for the first time, our version of Schoology, by going to scsc.schoology.com. Schoology, which is just the stupidest name for a company, is spelled like that, SCHOOLOGY. So scsc.schoology.com. And if I were you, I would put a bookmark for that on my phone, or you can add it to your home screen or whatever, because you're going to need to be able to get to this fairly frequently. Yes?
What if you have the app?
Then use the app. Good job. That means you're prepared. So once you get onto scsc.schoology.com, it's going to prompt you for your login and password. Like Mr. Eckert on the announcement said, try using just your regular old Wes Clark first part of your name at scsc.school. That should be your new email address. So whatever the first part of your old email address was, at scsc.school, and then try your old password. And if all that stuff goes to plan, you should be able to get into your account. Yes?
Mine doesn't work.
Cool. What does it say?
Invalid username and password.
Well, you're probably putting in the wrong password.
I'm putting in the right password because I know what this is. I logged into Infinite Campus last night with it.
Okay. Try it again. Once you're in, you should see all your courses listed. Has anyone else had trouble trying to get in? Okay. SCSC, Silver Creek School Corporation, SCSC.schoology.com. A part of the reason why all this stuff has been so complicated is because, we also switched school districts in the middle of this, global pandemic. Yes,
For Infinite Campus, the district name, what would you put?
Silver Creek School Corporation. But I think for Infinite Campus, the Infinite Campus and Schoology are not the same thing. But for Infinite Campus, the exact address is silvercreekin.infinitecampus.org. So if you go to that, you don't have to go through that whole rigmarole. So Silver Creek IN, like Indiana, silvercreekin.infinitecampus.org. And that'll get you the straight link to Infinite Campus. And you can just save that into your home screen. Those kind of questions. Yes.
Yeah, I'm having the same problems as Dylan.
It's not letting you in? Okay. It's very possible that your password has changed over the course of this, or that it's just not reading your login, your username correctly. Make sure you get the capitalizations correct in your login. That apparently matters. I've had that problem on. So if you have like capital letters in certain places, those have to be there. It's case sensitive, in other words.
For College Infinite Campus, it's just not good.
Nope. Yeah, Infinite Campus and Schoology both are a little bit on the oof side of things, but it's what we got. It's what we got. Okay. Has anybody been able to get into Schoology?
Yeah.
Okay, a few people have. All right, that's a good sign. You might want to try it again in Flex, and if it's still not working in Flex, then you should probably send an email to, who should you send it to?
Your counselor.
Yeah, probably your counselor. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. But a few of you were able to get in there? Okay. Can you see Block 1 band? Can you see this class that you're in? Cool. All right. Awesome. I forgot to do it, but I'll get all the chunks and all that stuff updated in there as well. So if you're looking for all your chunk records and all that garbage, I'll have all that loaded into your Schoology account, I don't know, sometime this week. Again, you don't need it right now anyway, but it'll be there. When you need it, it'll be there. Okay. I think that's it. Virtual kids, I hope you all are doing well. This is what it's going to be like. I'll try to get the lighting better. I know that I'm super backlit right now, and so you just like see a silhouette version of Smith. I promise I'm real and not just floating in the void. But I'll try to get the lights a little bit better so you can actually see me. But virtual kids, we're just going to talk here with all of our physical friends. And yeah, I hope you're doing well. If you have any questions, you can email me, okay? asmith@scse.school, the world's dumbest email address. Okay. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Smash that like button.
Ring the bell.
Ring the bell. Sponsored by
Click the
myself.
in bio.
Yeah. Make sure you purchase the merch. Do we have a merch store? I need a merch store. Okay, bye. All right.